we call the heartland. Not very smart land. IQs are very low, but threat levels are high. They got a mandate, they don't want mandates. They got so many hates of people to despise. In the dust bowl, cerebral black hole. The average weight is well over 200.
The following video is for a project for my religion class. Most things will be explained with pictures or by me just saying them, and on rare occasion through acting. Boy. So now, enjoy the following presentation. First, to start off this video, I would like to state that Jesus was a real person, and I can prove this because there are records that a man named Jesus was born in Nazareth. To prove my point, I prepared pictures that I made using the program Paint, sort of describing what may have happened to demonstrate differences between religious Jesus and historical Jesus. It might be extremely helpful. Now, the spelling most likely won't be correct on these because I did them fairly early in the morning, most likely around 2 or 3 o'clock. But on the left, it shows the religious view of Jesus, and then on the right, it shows the possible historical version of Jesus. Now, the next one shows the relationship between Mary Magdalene and Jesus. Same as before, religious on the left, historical on the right. Now this one is one of the miracles that Jesus could have done, religiously and historically. This one was the reaction that Jesus received upon reviving from the dead, religiously and historically, once again. Now, the next part is the acting bit that I told you at the beginning of the video. This actually took longer to make than it might have seemed. Now, actually, before we go right into the video, let me just tell you, this video was what might have been the reaction to Jesus coming to the people and saying that, well, he's Jesus. Greetings, my brothers. I am the Son of the Lord, here to bring you peace and salvation.
Man, it must be lonely.
Okay, so that video was extremely short, and probably didn't live up to some of your expectations, but it got the point across that some people probably thought Jesus was crazy. But otherwise, what we know of Jesus' life, he was born of the Virgin Mary, and he was a carpenter up until he started being a minister. And I don't know, didn't become so much of a carpenter then because you can't really practice building beds and bureaus when you're preaching. But anyways, Jesus was born around 2,000 years ago. I'm sort of skipping around. He died on the cross, and when he died, according to Catholic faith, Jesus went down to hell, got all the people up, and went to heaven and opened up the gates. And, Romans executed him. Jesus was called the Great Teacher, taught people how to pray, did miracles. That's all I wrote down in my notebook. Yeah. Also, he rose from the dead 3 days after he died, and then 40 days after he rose from the dead, he ascended up into heaven. Now, we move on to creeds. Well, first off, there's the Nicene Creed, which appeared after the Council of Nicaea in 325, and divine nature of Christ. The creed became part of the liturgy of the Church in Rome in 1014, and remains part of the liturgy today. The Nicene Creed, I'll just start it off. We believe in one God, the Father, the Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, all that is seen and unseen. We believe in one Lord, Jesus Christ, the only Son of God, eternally begotten of the Father, God from God. Moving on to the Apostles' Creed. The Apostles' Creed received its name because it was a summary of the Apostles' faith. However, the earliest reference to this creed appears in 4th century writings. The earliest text dates from the 8th century. I'll also start that off. I believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. I believe in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord. He was conceived by the power of the Holy Spirit and born of the Virgin Mary. He suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried. He descended to the dead, into hell. On the third day he rose again, he ascended into heaven. Now, the dogmas are, I wrote down, unchanging view on faith. One of them I wrote down was the existence/unity of God. The Bible will not have a sequel. And I think I'm going to cut off the video there. It's gotten around 7 minutes. I'm going to have to make a sequel to this. So, yeah. Sequel will continue and include code, cult, and Catholicism in practice, as will be on my list. So until next time.